Hi, I am Dr. Catherine Esquer. I am a licensed psychologist in the states of Pennsylvania and Florida, and I am your mental health coach at Kunik. So let's talk about interpersonal relationships. The quality of our friendships or interpersonal relationships are associated with two big things in our life. More than two, but I'm just going to talk about two right now. One would be our overall happiness. Our relationships are correlated with our happiness in all dimensions of our lives. The better our relationships, the happier we are at work, the happier we are in our marriage, and the happier we are at home. Two would be our interpersonal relationships are actually tied to our longevity in life. A study out of Harvard found that the simple yes or no question of, do you have someone you would feel comfortable calling at 4 a.m. to talk about your troubles with? That yes or no question was associated with whether or not that person was going to be alive at the age of 80. So it's really important that even in the middle of social distancing, we really take time to invest in our relationships, to maintain them, and even create new ones. So let's talk about how to do that. First, I'd really like to highlight the phrase social distancing. We do not have to socially distance. We need to physically distance with others. We can still be social. So let's get that out of the dark cloud there. It's not social distancing, it's physical distancing. The three things that really propel an acquaintance to a friendship would be shared experiences, time spent with that person, or time talking to that person, conversing with that person, and the depth of our conversations. So if we take those three things, those we can translate very easily into the digital world or the physically distant world. It takes a little bit of forethought, but we can do it. First and foremost, the shared experiences, you might have to dig a little deeper or ask around to find new people that you share experiences with. A lot of the families I work with are professional families or professional parents who find themselves actually changing their friend groups because their shared experience of COVID is different than those of the people that they were friends with prior to COVID. That doesn't mean they're not going to be friends with them. That just means that during this period of time, they're looking for people who share the same experiences. And to clarify that, it's really about their comfort with social or physical distancing. A lot of times families who stay home and really physically distant from all other areas, they feel even more alone and isolated, and they feel like their friends, who maybe they appear to be out and about, which to each their own, but they feel like they can't relate to their friends and their friends can't relate to them. So they're feeling more alone, but there are other families out there who are experiencing similar things that you experienced during COVID. You just might have to ask around or reach out to former networks. Friends change, levels of friendships change over time and during different situations, and a pandemic is something no one has ever experienced before. So give yourself the grace and your friendships the grace to change a little bit during this. You are a part of Kunik for a reason, so I would encourage you to leverage this resource to meet other parents who share similar philosophies about how to handle COVID with their families or similar experiences during COVID. Ask around, find those people, and connect with them even off Kunik. Because the second thing we talked about was the amount of time that you spend with the person also translate into a better quality relationship. So that means actually reaching out frequently, maybe having scheduled phone calls or scheduled Zoom calls. I know we all have Zoom fatigue, but friendships are equally important as business meetings. So make sure you schedule time for those too. The third one is the depth of conversation. There's no way to get around the awkwardness of a new acquaintance going into a friendship, but there's no better way to do it than going deep in the conversations, by talking about what you're afraid of, what your fears are, by talking about what you struggle with, by talking about what energizes and motivates you, the things that make you tick, the things that make you, you. So you can take those three things. Shared experiences, you just have to look around a little bit different because our experiences are different now. Time, and then also deep conversations, and they translate well into the virtual world and the physically distant world. Just be more cognizant of it. And remember, the quality of your friendships are tied to your overall happiness and your longevity in life. There's no better health investment than friendships. So, I would love to hear below and comment with your strategies that you've used to either maintain or find new friendships during COVID. Let's start the conversation and let's make it a priority.